MMA Homie Podcast, Part 2. Cain Velasquez finally sentenced. 5 years in prison. We'll kind of get into how many days served because I know there was a lot of talk behind the scenes of how many days served, how much time he's going to have to do moving forward. But what I wanted to kind of just premise here, and I was listening to a few shows today, Ariel and the homie who's the dude that's the coach that I had referenced earlier, Dean Thomas. And
Ben
so
Thomas.
they were talking about, the person he attacked or tried to go after has not been sentenced yet.
Or
B,
tried.
B, in the heat of the moment, Cain reacted, and that's what he's being charged with here. What would all of us do? I know we said part one, and I want to get you guys' opinion. What would we do? I know I would more than likely see red. And just so for nobody that knows the story, what's going on, the accuser, I don't want to say his bitch ass name, he was arrested, right, Vaughn? He's been
He's
arrested.
arrested.
Right. That's what he's
He
going
has
to
a trial date.
for molesting a 4-year-old little boy, Cain's boy. And Dean Thompson, they got it confused at first. They thought it was his nephew. No, that's his son. I don't give a fuck if that's my niece, nephew, anybody in my family, any kid that's around me, bro. I don't know what I'm gonna do. And that's why we said about last time, hindsight's 2020. And I challenge everybody to really, what would you do? Because I don't know. I'd lose my shit, dog. I fucking would lose my shit, bro. When it comes to touching kids, I wanted to also highlight first Mexican UFC champion, heavyweight UFC champion. He's a legend. Am I wrong or am I right, guys? Homies?
Absolutely correct on that one.
The legend.
Legend, bro. So, heat of the moment, he, like a man, stood up and said, I'm going to do my time, whatever you give me. And he was facing what, 30?
39.
39 years. So he went in there like a man on 10 toes and said, you know what, whatever you give me. But I believe that even the judge got emotional. And maybe we could read that towards the end of what the judge said, because the judge was like, man, this is tough. This is tough for me. But big picture, he didn't do it the right way. Hindsight's 2020. And he took the law in his own hands and he could have hurt other people. And I see people online saying, oh, no, you should never have done that, man. We don't know what you would do if you were in that position. But let me kind of give the mic to Fool. Let me get his reaction, his thoughts on the whole matter.
What's up, everyone? Thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here with the homies. Yeah, I mean, shit. Where to begin? It's a really touchy subject. I have 3 kids myself, man. So you should know how I feel. I can't even describe the words that I would do. I'm like 100,000% on Kane's side. Like obviously there's laws and everything, and I agree with everything that's going on, the process, the court process, everything that has to happen because a lot of people go through it. Obviously there's flaws in the system, which I mean we can always fix, by voting. And like, it sucks because a lot of people don't vote for the right things. That's when it comes down to like the little elections, and when it's in the little local elections and stuff like that, who we put, like even judges we put in office. But we got a great judge, and he was very lenient. And because he understands, I think everybody understands, like you got to be a sick motherfucker if you don't understand what Cain Velasquez did, what any right human being, parent, and even if you're not a parent, look at
Especially in the
MTK.
and
MTK is
especially
like,
in
fuck,
the
dude.
heat of the moment, bro. Especially right
Yeah.
there, like I don't even know what I'd be losing my shit, bro. Like you couldn't even talk to me, dog.
In any other country, you probably would have got away with it. Everybody would have stoned the guy to death, or got the machetes out, and they would have fucking
Street
sliced him in
justice.
half. And
Street justice.
and a lot of times, like, it would have gone into a different. The judging would have been different over there. Oh, okay, like whatever. Maybe he would have got life. Maybe it would have been a little slap on the wrist. I feel like what he did was wrong, but it's right. I would have done the same shit.
I wrote
He
this
get
down. Two things can be right.
Yep.
Two things can be right. He deserves to do the time, but we understand where the fuck he's coming from. Let me get Vaughn on here real quick, and then we'll get you back, fool.
Um, I agree with everything everyone's saying, as far as sentiment, how I feel about what Cain did. Obviously, he acknowledged himself that what he did was wrong. I think most rational people would acknowledge that there are certain aspects of what he did that certainly endangered other people in the public. And I'm not just talking about his stepdad or his mom. You know, there's bullets that did not hit their target and could have potentially hit a little kid, a police officer, a fireman, an old lady. There's a lot of dynamics that could have occurred, of which Cain stepped up and took responsibility, and it went in line with who this type of judge was. And kudos to Cain Velasquez legal team for understanding the legal dynamic of which they were in, because the prosecutors were seeking to throw the book at Cain Velasquez, and the type of judge that Cain had for the sentencing hearing was such that he was lenient on first-time offenders who took responsibility and were remorseful for their actions. That shows that they understand the nature of the laws in which we live as a society and is able to be rehabilitated. So it was a certain win-win situation for his legal team, for his family. The credit that he got, 1,283 days, included the incarcerated time served plus the house arrest time. There was a question as to whether the house arrest was actually going to be included
Yeah.
in time served, but that came straight out of the judge's mouth, the 1,283 days. So um, that basically implies that the 5 years is basically cut down to 542 days. In California, they have a good conduct credit allowance where inmates can earn 33.3% credit towards their release or towards their time. It could be up to 50% if it was a non-violent crime, but I think all the charges, when I looked at them, would classify as violent crimes. So at a 33.3% good conduct credit, that puts him out in 361 days from yesterday, which I think is like March 20th, March 21st, one of those 2 days, 2026.
Or he could easily get up
So
to 6 months, easy with the way the court system is. It's so packed, bro. Like
It's so packed, yeah.
so packed, bro. Like it's very easy. I was gonna say something, and for everybody that doesn't know, you can go to westcoastradio.tv backslash Cain Velasquez, and Vaughn had wrote an article, and he said, so after the Cain's son basically told the detectives like that the accuser took him into the boys' bathroom at the daycare center where his son is supposed to be, being protected, and he told the cops that hey, he told the little boy not to tell anybody what happened in there. 3 days after he gets released from jail, the accuser gets released from jail, is the day that Cain fucking went red. And me too, I'm thinking, I'm like, man, if I found out, and we kept on saying that hindsight's 2020 in our original one, I would be at my house, bro, like going crazy. There's nothing you could probably say to me.
and I want to paint that picture for you as to why he was seeing red too, and I think why every one of us would see red, and it's part of the defect of the California judicial system, right? Where you have this man. So this wasn't like an overnight thing, right? This was a an investigation. Like they called, there was complaints. Police had to go investigate
At the
the
daycare.
daycare. You know, they had to make return visits. They had to look at licenses. They had to interview children. Cain's son isn't the only victim. They say that there's could be upwards of 20 child victims as well. Uh, Cain's son said that these there were up to 100 instances of times when he was abused by by the accused.
Is Predator.
So there was a lot of stuff going on. There was months of investigation, interviews. I'm sure that he was talking, they were talking with their own son and therapists. Um, and then, and I'm sure that we're following too what was going on with the accused trial date, his arrest and then his release. And then he's going to get fitted with this monitoring device. So I think at that point, when they let this accused um, rapist out on,
Predator,
what was it?
molester.
I don't remember, like, if it was out on bond or
I think it
uh,
was Bond. I think his parents bonded him out.
Okay.
Don't let me get started with this fucking punk ass parents.
He had to be
Yeah.
he had to be on house
It's
arrest at his stepdad's house or some shit. Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, to me, I feel like the system failed Cain. Had they kept him incarcerated as they should have, I mean, how the fuck do you let a child predator back out on the street? I understand you're innocent to proven guilty, but fuck that, bro. I mean, the weight of the evidence was such that everybody knew this man is a predator and not should not be deemed safe to go back out, you know. And fuck, man, I'm a gun owner too, and I
Hey,
feel like I would have resorted to the same thing.
I
You know,
hope the
I
North
think I
takes care
took
of it.
the Lord usually will take care of
North,
it.
the North, the North.
The North, the faith of the Lord.
No,
The
not.
Lord works in mysterious ways, man. He
I'm
hates
saying,
child
you know, if
molesters.
Kane shouldn't have had to done it. Have to done it himself. You know, I think just that's what I'm saying. Whatever. I don't even want to get into it. That guy's still
No,
out. He's still out there. I mean, street justice is street justice. You know, I feel like if there's not going to be any justice, and I don't condone it. You know, just
Yeah, and you know what? In his court date is coming
hypothetically
up.
speaking.
His court date is coming up, and I like Vaughn said, innocent to proven guilty, right? But man, there's a lot of that. I'm pretty sure the DA they want to get this motherfucker too.
Yeah, I hope so.
what you hope?
Yeah,
All
they
of a
do
sudden, I
hope.
mean, the DA was buddies with his
Don't let it go
friends
to
and
decision.
families and trying to paint them as a victim.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, what are they going to all of a sudden put on a different mask and be
Well,
like,
you know
ah,
what?
yeah, you're.
We'll stay.
Because honestly, his parents, I think, were harboring and
I
knew that
completely
his
agree.
son
And that's
was
why
doing this.
we're gonna do a part 3 on this because the story's not over. The story is not over
Oh,
here
hell no.
because
No.
we still got the court date. I believe it's June 2nd,
May 19th. May
June
19th.
19th. Okay, so we have that. We have that coming up. You know, I'll leave everybody with this. You know, my last words on this. Does he deserve to go to jail? In my opinion, yes and no. And I said two things could be true at once. Thankfully, he landed at the best case scenario. He can go in there, do his time, and get out in a very reasonable time,
And dignified way.
dignified, and say, you know what, I know I did my time. I made a mistake, and he said that prior. You know, he said that prior, and live his life. And hopefully, him and his family can heal from all of this because that little boy, bro, like who, you know, that's who fucking really hurts here, dog. You know what I mean? And but like I said, you know, I can't judge because I don't know what the fuck I would have done. But you know, my hats off to Cain. Much respect to his family, and you know, I hope that little boy grows up and you know, be you know, with all the love in the world, bro. And I'm sure you know that's what will happen. We'll leave Fool with the last words, and then Vaughn on the MMA Homie Podcast, Cain Velasquez special.
Yeah, I felt like he has to do some time. You know, he had what he did wasn't right. Obviously, like in the heat of the moment, we all would have done the same. But still, you know, there's laws that we have to follow. Unfortunately, and fortunately, you know, because we'd be living in a fucking anarchy society and shit. But yeah,
I mean,
uh,
imagine he killed somebody. This
yeah,
scenario is whole
yeah,
completely
that's
different.
yeah, yeah. He
Completely,
could have
this
been.
whole completely different.
And yeah, he did a lot of time already, but he did get out and he went out coaching. He did a bunch of stuff while he was free, so it's kind of like okay, you got to be out either before your court date. So yeah, I mean he's gonna do a little time, well deserved, and he didn't deserve to do that much. And the fact that they were trying to give him almost 30 years,
Yeah,
god damn, man.
yeah.
Yeah,
There's something broke in this country because of that.
yeah, because they want you to make a plea deal, like, and they will always keep that because they want you to always take a plea
That's part of
because
the
they win.
system. Yeah, part of the system. All right, Bond. Last words, bro.
Last words is I think this is best case scenario for Cain. I think
100%.
everybody knew that he had to do something sometime. By the time he gets out, it's not going to be so long of a time that it's going to uh, be a bridge too far to repair any
Right.
lost time with his son and his family. I think they're going to be made stronger with this because there's no longer this shadow cast with what Cain did. You know, he could move past this relatively quickly and really reclaim his life that was held hostage for the last 4 years,
Yeah, and start the next chapter. Start the next chapter.
which looks promising.
And you know what? And 90% of the MMA community is behind him. Free Cain, you know, you see that everywhere right now on social media. But you know, he can, like Vaughn said, he can have his head up high right now, you know, and you know, with heat of the moment. And I think everybody that's watching this, really ask yourselves, what would you have done too? You know, like that's a hindsight's 2020. We can all judge on the other side,
Yeah.
you
I
know.
love Cain, man. Cain was the first UFC fight I ever went to go see. Almost
Oh
got brown
man,
pride tatted on my chest. So.
hey, he's rasa. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like that's
Hey,
Hampton right there, bro.
Yeah.
yes,
That's
sir.
Hampton right now. And to see him, I think for us too is like, damn, like the
Yeah, that was.
homie dog.
Yeah.
Bro, that's the OG, bro.
And
That's the OG,
everybody,
the definition of the OG right there is Cain
all those
Velasquez.
legends, bro, the respect they have from. I'm gonna tear up, dog. Chocolate
I,
Girl, Rampage, fucking we already know Dana White. We could just go down the list, dog.
Ask
DC, Khabib.
any homie in the homie chat. Any homie in the homie chat will tell you Cain Velasquez is one of their favorite fucking fighters everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't care if they're from England, Iowa, Nebraska, Florida, Canada. Everybody will tell you Cain Velasquez is a
His
fucking
dad,
pioneer.
bro, fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like out there fucking, you know, grinding and shit in the fields.
Yep.
Come on, dog.
Yeah,
What are we
bro.
Yep.
You know, if you got hate for Cain Velasquez, I don't rock with you at all.
Yeah, hell no. That's
I
our
mean,
boy.
to go to college and try to, you know, break the cycle, didn't get involved in, you know, game politics and street shit, did it the right way, went to ASU, fucking was a wrestler. Man, dog.
Yep.
Legend. We'll leave it on that.
He is a legend.
Legend. I don't know what my hype button is.
And Hall of Famer.
And
And
Hall of
Hall of
Famer.
Famer. He's gonna
Can't
be a
wait
Hall
for
of
that.
Famer when he gets out.
Can't
Or,
wait for that ceremony.
hey, for our gente, for the Chicanos out there, the whole Mexican American community. Hey, Cain. One day in, one day out, homie. We out.
Yep.
Exactly, brother.